Cheers, man.
Poor Gerald ain't got no coffee, man.
Got some water.
It's an early podcast for us. 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Early bird gets the worm, they say.
Yeah, man. I'm still waking up. People gonna get the morning, Travis.
There we go. Wake up with positive energy. I love doing this shit because I feel like I got something accomplished outside of just working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a good homie that surfs every morning.
Oh.
Before he goes to work, before he does anything. And he's like, dude, I feel like I accomplished something before I have to actually do my little 9 to 5 shit.
Yeah.
So.
Damn, that'd probably be, if I knew how to surf, that'd probably be hella nice. Get the crisp.
Refreshing. Before the sharks wake up.
Yeah. Sharks don't sleep. I'm pretty sure they keep swimming.
Really?
Yeah, they never stop moving. I think they like sleep. Oh, well, they do sleep, but they sleep moving.
Interesting.
Something strange. People go probably, that's not true.
I've been watching Shark Week, man. Some crazy sharks out there, bro.
Really?
Big motherfuckers.
So is Shark Week, is it always recycled? Is it like always the same?
No, it's always new shit.
Really?
Yeah, so like the one I just watched, they have new stories of new shark attacks like that, haven't been reported or just people coming out and be like, yeah, this happened to me, and videos that just surfaced, and crazy, bro.
Would you ever go scuba diving with sharks?
I would go scuba diving. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for sharks because I think if I saw them, I would for sure piss my pants or shit myself type thing.
Yeah. Have you ever been scuba diving?
No, I've never been scuba diving. I'm a big snorkeler though. Like whenever I travel, bro, I'm a snorkeler, dude. I'll be out there like hella far from the beach, like just swimming, just snorkeling, just in deep ass water.
Well, you can't even see anything though.
Oh, for sure you can. Well, not out here.
Yeah. Monterey.
I'd be going on vacation and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Whenever I'm traveling, usually it's to like a beach place, and the water's super clear.
Yeah.
But still, I never thought about like how much danger I'm actually putting myself in being that far out because there's motherfuckers out there that are hungry.
What's like the craziest thing you've seen snorkeling?
Probably an eel.
An eel?
Yeah.
I've been scuba diving plenty of time. I'm actually certified. It probably expired.
You got your patty?
Yeah, I got my patty. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I got certified in Catalina Island. This was like 10 years ago though.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, dude, it was the one thing I didn't do, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to do because I like kind of went out there, it was for Boy Scouts. I went out there and we like spent the weekend or whatever. It might've been like 2 weeks. But one of the things like, oh, we're going to go on a night dive. No, I'm cool. I'm all right.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, bro. Like you barely see anything already. You gonna go out there at night? Like, oh, we got lights. I'm like, what? I
was in Mexico and the dude was like, if you really want to get certified, I can get you certified in 2 days. And I was like, damn, the God's telling me not to do this.
Yeah.
Because it usually takes a week or so, right? You got to do like
a good amount of time.
A couple different things. So he said 2 days and I was like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's like, that's like something you don't want to play around with. Even, as I say that, me and my buddy, Kevin, you might have met him before, Kevin Buszczek.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
so me and him, we got certified together. And there was this other kid, I won't say his name, but if he's listening, he'll be like, fuck you guys. We got certified with him. And once we got like comfortable, right? Because like for the tests, you have to go underwater. I think it's like 20 feet minimum. And then you have to take out your rebreather or your respirator, right? Oxygen supply, essentially, throw it away. And then you have to do this sweep. So if like you're ever swimming and it gets knocked out, you know the sweep procedure to always grab it. Like you sweep it, you catch the cord, and then it kind of like funnels up into your hand, and then you put it back, purge it, and then you're good to go. But the whole idea is like, so you're ready in a worst case scenario. If it does come out, you're not like, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Once we all got comfortable, we would like, so it's called a purge button, right? Because if you have water in your mouth or vomit, press it and it shoots all the stuff out and clears it so you can breathe freely.
Okay. We
would like swim up to this kid, like, hey, like wave underwater, and then boom, push his thing, go, and it like blasts him. And then like we would be like you'd be at the top of the water and you have like these little air pockets in your vest that you can inflate or deflate. So if you're on top of the water, you kind of float so you don't have to like swim with all this heavy gear.
Yeah.
So you inflate it, and before you go down, part of like the procedure before you go down is you check all your stuff. You go, okay, cool, air's good, everything's good, let's go. So we swam up behind this kid all the time and would like close off the oxygen thing. So before he did his check, you would see him, he'd be starting to like go down. He'd be like, and then like I shoot back up, and then he'd turn around and know it was us every time.
So what if you killed him?
He ain't gonna die. Well, that's the thing. Like, you can like give like oxygen. Like if someone loses their thing, like you could swim up and be like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
And like give it to him, so he's not gonna die.
Yeah.
But still, it was.
I heard if you like come up too fast, you start to hallucinate. And
I think it's called. It's been so long since I looked into this stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's called the bends.
Oh, okay.
Bends, and yeah, if you go up too fast, the pressure change within your body. I think essentially what happens is it leaves like little air pockets or air bubbles in your blood or something, but it could F you up for life. Like it's super dangerous. Yeah. So they always say it's like, do not like fill up and shoot up. Like do not, like you have to go up. Like if people who are doing deep dives, what they have to do is they essentially have like little checkpoints. Like they'll slowly swim up and then they'll kind of wait at a certain level and let their body acclimate. And they'll go up a little bit more and then like kind of wait. So their body can adjust to the pressure.
We're talking about sharks. If you see a shark down there, you can't just go up.
Yeah.
Like you still gotta just.
Yeah.
You got to hope it just doesn't eat you.
Yeah. Well, that's why a lot of times, I mean, like, well, and I think a lot of experienced divers, at least from like the footage I've seen, it's like sharks aren't gonna
just
mess with you. Yeah. But you never know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they don't know what you are. They're like, what the hell is this thing? It looks like some sort of weird robot creature with some like metal thing on its back. Like a lot of the times you'll see videos, the sharks will come up and they'll kind of like nuzzle these people.
Yeah.
And like, they're just kind of scoping it out. But unless like they're in like a survival, like hungry mode, they're not gonna,
They were saying they're like somewhat attracted to pee, like the scent of it. They have like great smells.
Yeah.
So like, and then they said surfers, right? Because they look like seals from the top.
Yeah, on the boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's and that's the thing, right? For a shark, if it's coming, it's a predator, right? So if you're underwater and you're essentially facing the shark and the shark sees you, it's like, oh, well, this isn't an easy kill. But if you're on top of the water, it's like, oh, it has no idea I'm here.
Yeah.
And just shoots straight up and then
gonna get you.
Does that whole procedure. Yeah. But dude, scuba diving's crazy. Like there's some things that like certain people will free dive. My brother's actually a free diver. He used to do it a lot.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it's like kind of like snorkeling and scuba diving together, but you take the snorkel, you get a big breath or, a big pocket of air, and then you just dive down. And then you stay down there for like a long time, like trying to get like mussels or lobster or whatever, spearfishing or whatever. But a lot of the times there's a certain point where you get deep enough and you feel weightless. Or there's some weird type of experience that happens where people a lot of the times will actually like just forget they're underwater and then stay down there and then drown.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say just stay down there and they're kicking it.
They die.
I seen a documentary of a dude who like was underwater for like 5 minutes. And like he just practiced, like he's like some like indigenous dude. Goes in the water like to go fishing and he'll be down there just for hella long.
That's wild.
Wild, bro.
Dude, it's a man. Like I only felt safe once I got a dive knife. Because then I had like this fat knife just strapped to my leg.
Something that comes up.
So if like, anything, even if a shark's coming at me, I got to, like just something to, keep it at bay.
Yeah, man. The ocean's wild, dude. Yeah. I love snorkeling. I love being in it. But I never really thought about the danger I put myself in when I'm way out there fucking around.
Dude, I think the ocean is one of the most terrifying things. I for sure, and that's one of the reasons I started scuba diving is because I was like, and I still kind of am, like terrified of the ocean. Because like, we're not made for that.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me like, I'm going to go out like 300, feet out in the middle of open water and just be chilling, like floating and swimming. It's like, no. Like, man. It's so unexplored and like, it's like, who knows?
I think the more videos I watch, it makes me more scared. Because I'm like, damn, the ocean, like it feels good. Jump in, I feel like refreshed.
Yeah.
But then also my last name is Seals. So it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like, God's like, dude, don't fuck around.
Yeah.
You know what like seals.
Yeah. Well, and I think like really understanding too, it's like if you ever go to the beach and like, I'm sure I'm not the only person who used to do this all the time, but like you go out in the waves and like a big wave comes and you kind of stand there like, and like, you try to like take it on almost. You know, like you kind of like
I love it.
Linebacker up almost and put the shoulder forward and like see if you can blast through it.
Yeah.
If you start getting some of them big waves, you'll learn real quick that the ocean does not give a fuck about you.
So I was in Mexico ducking waves, right? Like they come and you dive under them and come back up and shit. And a big wave comes. It fucks me up. Literally sit me like I did a cartwheel. I remember like being like, oh shit, like my legs are like not supposed to be this way. Landed like on my shoulder and my neck. And I was thinking, dude, like if I landed a lot harder, I could have broke my neck, bro. Like I could have really fucking died.
Yeah.
Just fucking with like 6 foot waves, like just crazy.
Bro, and that's like the most terrifying feeling because if you're out there and like you start to get tired, right? Because you're like battling these waves and you're like, oh man, like I'm kind of tired now. And then a big wave comes, like a big wave, and you feel the water being pulled back into the wave, and then they're like, oh shit, I like right now it's like you can't run because it's pulling, the water's pulling. It's like
start to panic.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell is about to happen? There's been a couple times where I got like scooped up under some massive waves and I went underwater and I didn't know which way was up, which way was down. And I was under there for a long time to the point where it's like, I'm still underwater. What's going on? And then I finally like made it out. I'm like,
Gary, a lot of times like when that happens, I do get hit by a wave. I just close my eyes and like relax. Cause I'm like, I know I'm going to come up eventually.
Yeah.
So just chill out. Like don't think too much. Cause me and Tim Young almost died in Santa Cruz, dude.
Oh shit.
We were fucking out there fucking with the waves.
Yeah.
Went too deep. Next thing you know, a wave comes, hits me. I come up and I'm looking the opposite way of the beach, right? I'm like looking into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then I get hit again, bam. And I'm looking for him and he's like struggling. I'm like yelling at surfers and shit, like, help. Like it was a moment, bro.
Did surfers come and help you out or what?
No. So what happened was, dude, a wave hits and pushes us towards, and I could feel my feet hit the ground finally, like the sand. So I just like pushing myself. I fucking get out. I'm like exhausted, like breathing heavy. I'm yelling at our friends like, hey, like go get Tim. Like Tim's in the ocean. And like they run out there and like try to help him. And he's like coming back too. We were so exhausted. And it was one of the scariest moments of my life for sure.
Oh yeah, bro. Well, and that's the thing about the ocean is like, you don't know because like you get out there, you're either tired and you drowned or like, who knows? Like a shark could be like, oh, perfect timing, you know, or like something. Cause I've seen some shit down there. Like there's these things called giant sea bass. You think it's like, oh, what? It's probably like, you know, this big or something. Like these things are massive. Like we're talking the size of like a mini coupe, like massive. And I saw like 3 of these swim by real quick. So like,
no way.
Yeah, there's like stuff. And so me and my girlfriend were in Costa Rica and we were, you know, like the waves were super calm, nothing crazy, but like the water temperature was perfect. We were out there. And then there's this couple kind of like, I would say like 20 feet away from us to the left. And then all of a sudden we hear the girl, and she screams, and me and my girl look over, and over kind of to the left of this couple, there's like all this stuff going on in the water, like, and like all this splashing. And then we see all these little fish jump out, like, you know, in the movies where you see all the fish, like,
yeah, they're trying to run.
Yeah. And they're all running. And then we see this like big spiky fin. Like I'm talking a fin like this long and like this tall, like out of the water, like chasing these fish.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I forget, we looked it up, but I forget what type of fish it was, but this thing was massive. And like, I'm like, what the hell? Like I'm out of here. And like, that happened multiple times while we were out there swimming. Like you see all these fish jumping and then something big is chasing them. I'm like, bro, I don't want to, this isn't our territory.
Have you ever had any like drowning experiences or like been close to drowning?
There was one time when I was a kid and my dad had to save me. We were like at a lake and I almost started to drown. There was that time in the waves, I almost drowned. But I think that's about it. Cause I mean, like I'm not like the best swimmer in the world, but like I know how to like float on my back and stuff. So it's like worst case scenario, you can kind of,
yeah.
But if you're out in deep water, you're done. I don't care who you are. If you're solo out there, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you, so kind of off topic. Have you heard of this guy, Andrew Tate?
We talked about him. We talked about him briefly.
Please tell me you heard of this dude.
Andrew Tate. We just talked about this fool. Is he like a rapper?
No. Bro, I want him on the podcast so bad. He's a kickboxer. He's like a famous kickboxer, but that's not what he's most known for. He's taken over the internet right now, bro. If you go on TikTok, you're going to see him everywhere. YouTube clips, you'll see him. He hasn't really made it too hard on Instagram because I think they're like trying to really suppress his stuff. But he is the most outspoken, like, so if we're talking about like, I'll just kind of say it. If we're talking about like pussies on one side, like wimps, he's the polar opposite. Like this guy is over hyper masculine, like testosteroned out, talking about how women need to fulfill the submissive role in the relationship and like saying all this like completely opposite of what we've been hearing now.
So he's like Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, but if Kevin Samuels was even more like, no, fuck that, like a lot more.
Like he goes off.
Yeah, like he goes off.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
I don't think you guys talked about him on the last podcast a little bit, I feel like.
Possibly.
No? Okay, maybe not.
Do you want me here? You know what? We have the technology. Let me pull this fool up.
And then I want to see who he is. So, wow. I mean, I know who Kevin Samuels was, and he says some very controversial shit, especially women.
Yeah.
So if there's another guy out there like him.
Bro. And, well, and Kevin Samuels, and that's the thing, right? Like this guy, Andrew Tate, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I agree with everything he says. But the messed up part is there's a lot of stuff, not in regards to the women thing, but just like in general, there's a lot of stuff he says where it's like, men are too kind of wimpy now, men are too wimpy now. And feminine. He kind of goes in, they're too feminine. And he's like, no, we need to, get back to it. So he's like super like, super
sure of himself.
Yeah. Well, and his whole thing is like, I don't care. Like they could try to cancel me. Like, I don't give a shit.
He's already rich. What are they going to do?
Yeah. Well, and his whole philosophy. So like, obviously he has some strong viewpoints on women.
Yeah.
We won't get into those too much because obviously that's, a whole conversation itself. But I think one thing about this guy that's pretty wild is how he came onto the scene so strong. So he's been around for a while, but more recently, he's been blowing up all over TikTok, but he doesn't even have a TikTok. So he has this whole thing called Hustlers University, right? And essentially it's his program where he teaches people how to build wealth and how to like act like a man and all that shit. But one of the first things he does in teaching people how to make wealth when you sign up, you pay like $50 a month or something like that. One of the first things he tells you is go and find all my old YouTube videos, cut it up into TikTok format, create a TikTok account, like a fan page for me that says like Andrew Tate clips or Andrew Tate money or Andrew Tate wealth or Andrew Tate success, and then post all of my videos. It's going to get traction because I'm who I am. Just post it, put your affiliate link in the bio, and then when people sign up through your link, you'll get a cut of their monthly payments.
Oh, shit.
So he's getting paid. Some of the people are getting paid, but then at the same time, he's mobilizing. I think there's like 6,000 people on his program right now.
Oh, wow.
He's mobilizing 6,000 TikTok accounts, all pushing his face and his content.
Shit.
So he is just blowing up all over TikTok. So it's like if you pull out TikTok, you cannot go 10 seconds without seeing his face in one of his clips.
Dude, that's smart.
Genius, bro. Genius marketing move. Yeah, it's insane. So, and then like he has a lot of crazy philosophies too, where he's like, you know what? People are always saying, get off the grid, get off the grid. I think you should be on as many grids as possible because it's impossible to get off the grid. If you go, when you make money, the first thing you should do is go to another country and get a driver's license. And then go somewhere else and get another driver's license. Because if you're driving in the States and you get pulled over for something and the cop comes and asks for your license and you hand him a Thailand license, he can't read that shit. He's going to look at that license and say, I'm not going to make all these calls. I don't know who to call for this. I don't want to call this person and this person and this person and verify all this stuff. I'm just going to let him go. And then he's also saying it's like you should have as many passports as possible because if they try to lock you down, you can just leave. You're not an American citizen anymore. You have a Romanian passport. Just go to Romania. And if you're trying to get in somewhere, like, oh, sorry, we're only letting Lebanese people in here. It's like, oh, here you go. Boom, got this one. And then you can get in. So he's like saying, get on as many grids as possible, which I think it's like, there's some of the stuff he's saying where it's like,
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think it's a little far-fetched, right? Yeah. The passport thing, I don't think it's that easy. But I mean, it could be.
Have you ever heard of that though?
No.
And neither have I. So who is to say? Because when I first heard it, I was like, it's probably really hard to get a passport. Don't you need like, a resident, but like at the same time, like then you're.
I think Jay-Z said, he's like, I got 5 passports. I'm never going to jail. You know, he might have some game that I just, never really thought about.
I've been thinking about signing up for this thing, bro, just to like see. Because I mean, once he said that driver's license thing, I was like, damn, that's actually
great idea.
If I was a cop and someone gave me a foreign license, I'm not going to make all these necessary calls to do all. I'm just going to let this person go unless they killed someone.
Where's this guy from? He has like an accent. Obviously, he's not American.
No, he is American.
Really?
Yeah, but I think he's like half black. He moved to Romania. He's in Romania right now. That's where he lives. Yeah, I don't know. He's a trip, bro. Like, he's wild. But the internet is they're like pissed off at this guy because obviously the whole narrative for the longest time has been like, women's rights, everybody's equal, this. And here comes this guy who's just like, and just complete opposite, bro. I honestly think it's a nice refresher. I'm not sitting here and saying I agree with everything he says, but I think that you shouldn't be so far one side. I think there needs to be people on both sides.
A balance, for sure.
Yeah, exactly, a balance. And I feel like in our culture right now, it's heavily weighted to kind of the like feminine, it's like men, like testosterone levels are dropping in men, and I think it's like, it's important, like, because at the end of the day, it's like, men kind of have to stand up and like kick ass sometimes.
For sure.
And if you don't have the ability to kick ass, it's like you're kind of screwed. Like, for example, the other night I was at the studio, we're talking like 10:15 at night, and I have a little security camera in my front yard, and it goes off, and there's some chick at the door, and my girlfriend calls me. It's like, hey, like there's this girl here. I don't know what's going on. And she's like ringing the doorbell, and she's standing outside, and then my phone dies. So then I have to charge it really quick, and I call her back, and I look at the cameras, and then this girl's just leaving. And my girlfriend was like, yeah, this girl like came into the house, and then like after a while, I finally answered the door and was like, can I help you? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for blah, 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 and says like our address. And she's like, yeah, are you looking for someone? And she's like, yeah. My girlfriend's like, oh, okay. And the girl's like looking at her phone the whole time and is like, oh, okay, sorry, I'm stupid, sorry. And then walks away. And then I come home and there's like this car outside parked in like on the street. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Next morning I wake up, I'm leaving around like 9. And I notice that car's still there. And then I see some hair over the top of the seat. I'm like, that looks like the hair from the girl in the video. So I go up to the car. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, you're like, my girlfriend said this. And she's like, oh, yeah, there's another blah, blah, blah. And says our address number down the street. So I was just going there. And I'm like, oh, I just want to make sure you're not like, because your car's still here and you're still in your car. I just want to make sure you like weren't here all night. I want to make sure everything's okay. She's like, oh yeah. I'm not a murderer or anything. Ha ha. And like, this is like a 22-year-old girl. And like, she doesn't look crazy, but she definitely was giving off the vibes of like a paranoid girlfriend who's like scoping out, stalking. Yeah, definitely gave some stalker vibes. So I say all that to say, I immediately armed my girl with a lot of gear. Let's put it that way.
For sure.
And I made sure the facility is, as
long as she knows how to use the gear that you gave her.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like, I gave her the tools, but I have the tools.
Yeah.
Where if I'm there, it's like, ain't shit gonna go wrong. I'm like, people gonna die.
Yeah.
If shit goes wrong. So if we're so far away from that, and I'm in a position as a man where I am, because what my girl did was she called me.
Yeah. For sure.
Because I'm the man in the relationship.
Yeah.
And I got the muscles. I got, the steadfastness. My feet are on the ground. I'm ready for war if it comes down to it.
Yeah.
If I was just like her in that situation and I was, effeminate and non-testosterone filled and masculine, well, who's going to protect the household? Who's going to protect her? Who's going to protect me? Who's going to protect our valuables?
Nobody.
911. And what, we're going to have to wait for them to call? Like nothing could have,
Yeah.
So it's like, I think you have to, and that's the balance of it.
Well, I mean, dude, this was what I was going to talk about a little bit later, but I'll talk about it now because you hit the nail on the head. I was in Berkeley this past weekend with two of my good friends, and we're out at a bar. We're having a great time. We're leaving the bar, and we end up running into this dude that has a Sprinter van. And he's like, hey, like I do like, not tiny homes, but like Sprinter van homes. Like, come check out my Sprinter van. And he's like, I got beer. Like, we're like, oh, cool. Like, gives us a beer, crack a beer. We're all having a good time, chilling, literally in this full Sprinter van.
Yeah.
And the door's open and shit. It's not like no weird shit. But we're all kicking it there. And then we had these girls with us. They were there. So it was like Probably 6 people like all around this Sprinter van. And then this fucking fool pulls up on a fucking scooter and pulls out a gun, bro, and pointed at us. And he wasn't trying to rob us or anything, but he just pulled out his gun and fucking pointed at us, right? So as soon as I see it, I'm like, oh shit, I like duck and just book it out of the way, right? Because for one, I'm not about to fight no dude that got a gun.
Yeah,
like,
what? You go bring some fists to a gunfight.
But then it's also like, I'm not about to sit here and just let this fool fucking start spraying everybody. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So I ran. Like, I think everyone else kind of ducked and like got out of the way. This fool ended up taking off, but that shit just freaked me out, bro. It was like, to have a gun like just pointed that close to my face was so like bizarre and weird and uncalled for.
Yeah.
But to bring up my point, another point, in Indiana, it was just like almost another fucking mass shooting, right? This guy pulls out he goes to the mall, has 2 rifles, right? Hella ammunition, and he has a pistol on him. And he's like standing by the bathroom, starts shooting. So he shoots 24 rounds, ends up killing 3 people.
Oh my God.
Right? But a good Samaritan fucking pulls out his pistol and shoots this motherfucker.
Bop, bop.
Kills him. Right? And it brings up a whole conversation of like, of course I think it should be harder to get guns. Of course I think there needs to be more background checks and all that. I get it, right? You don't want to give a crazy person a gun.
Yeah.
But imagine if that guy wasn't there.
Yeah.
People fucking die, bro. More people die. This fool saved so many people's lives.
100%, bro.
I think his name's like Elijah Dickens.
That's a patriot. That's an American right
there, a fucking patriot, boy. Bro. A real one. Like, it like got me worked up. And then it was like, fuck, if I had a gun in that situation, it was legal for me to have one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have defended myself. I could have defended my friends a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been as scared. Like, I'm not prepared to like handle this situation at all.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I think so I was at the gun range yesterday, and it was actually the most American thing I've ever experienced. Not specifically being at the gun range, but I was there shooting. Right?
Okay.
And then there's like, like obviously like, and here's the funny thing. I'll be kind of like, I don't want to say racist against myself, but like when you go to the gun range, you kind of assume it's like, probably be a whole bunch of white people, blah, 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 right?
For sure.
There's obviously a lot of white people, but all of a sudden, this like kind of short Indian dude walks in with his like nerdy looking Indian son. And I'm like, that's fucking dope.
Most definitely.
I was like, it was the most, and then this Indian, he's like next to the stall that I'm in. And this Indian dad pulls out like 3-4 different pistols. Yeah, like a Glock, a little 22, like all this little stuff. And he's sitting there with his son, like showing his son how to stand and how to shoot. And then like for like a good amount of time. And then the kid goes to the other room. And then the dad just starts laying it down the range. There's like bolt, like pop, pop, like perf, like really good aim too. And I was like, that's dope. You know, like to me, that's like what America really is.
For sure.
It's like a mixture of people all practicing and exercising their rights as individuals and, like not being limited, right? Because you think, it's like when you think of guns, you think of like, oh, rednecks, this. But it's like, no, like people own and operate guns. And it's like, I think it's important that like,
well, it's a right? It's a right to bear arms.
Yeah.
And I think, America is a melting pot of so many different cultures, so many different people.
Yeah.
It's only right that everyone should have the same fair chance to, exercise those rights and really arm themselves and protect their family at the end of the day and their friends. Because, dude, I felt so like, of course, I fucking ran away because at the end of the day, what am I going to do? Sit there and just get shot?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, fuck, dude, like, maybe I should have tackled the guy. You know what I mean? Maybe.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fucking superhero at the end of the day. But like the dude Elijah Dickens did, dude. He pulled out a fucking gun and fucking handled that shit.
Yeah.
He was there just shopping with his girlfriend, dude. Like random day. Next thing you know, fool pulls out a rifle. Like,
well, and think about that, right? I know that like the philosophy right now is like, get rid of guns. Crazy.
Which is wrong.
Yeah, because crazy people are always going to have access to guns.
For sure.
Because it's just like, oh, we need to get rid of drugs. It's like people who want drugs are always going to find a way to get drugs. People who want guns are always going to find a way to get guns. So in a situation like you're talking about in Indiana, it's like if we did get rid of guns from people who legally got them, that people would have died. Like a lot more people would have died.
For sure.
But now think about a whole bunch of responsible adults like this, older Indian guy, short Indian dude I saw at the range. Think about a whole bunch of people like that who are probably very level-headed, have done the practice, know all their safety rights. They have all the proper licensing and, permits and all that shit. And there's let's say 1 out of 10 people just walking around the world have some shit like that. We're going to be pretty damn safe. Because if shit pops off, people are going to be less likely to do some crazy shit because they know that, oh shit, like that guy doesn't look like it, but he might have a Glock on him and he might be super. So if I try to pop off, he's going to give me before I can even get one out.
Yep.
So it's going to be because like
there's a mutual respect. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing. I was at the bar the other day talking to this white guy, right? Fucking biker. He had the biker jacket on. Like he was a for sure. Like he said he's from Idaho. I'm like, okay, I get what type of motherfucker you are.
Yeah.
Just preconceived notion, right? Just thinking of like, this fool probably don't fuck with me like that.
Yeah.
But he was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nice to meet you. Like, disrespectful. And then he was like, yeah, I'm from Idaho. I was like, oh, I got a good friend that just moved there. He was like, he loves it out there because, everyone has a mutual respect. And he goes, you know why they all have a mutual respect? And I said, oh yeah, he told me why. Yeah. Because everybody's got a fucking pistol. And if you're being disrespectful, you know what I mean? That shit's only going to last for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's just out there just causing problems and shit for no reason.
Yeah.
Like there's a mutual respect. People know I might have a pistol on me. You might have a pistol on you. Let's, nod our head and go the other way and keep the peace.
Well, it's an interesting philosophy because if you really do exercise that idea of, okay, well, if we remove all the guns and we like pad all the walls and make everything safe and give everyone a second place and third place and fourth place trophy and make the world this like fluffy rainbow butterfly place, if a really bad person comes along, they could destroy everything and they could do whatever the hell they want. Because if no one has that, that overgrowth of testosterone or that over masculinity or the weapons or the know with how to defend or that, ability to speak out and stand up, everyone's going to cower in the corner and just die.
You're right.
And because if one evil person, like that's how the world happens, it's like nature isn't like this like thing that only produces these beautiful little flowers. It's like nature has some evil sides because it's a balance. For sure. You need confrontation and you need a polar opposite to help push you forward to evolve. But if everyone's all safe, no one's going to evolve. We're going to devolve. And one really bad person is going to come along and either dictate and control the whole entire population or just go through and rampage. So,
man,
people need to be careful.
Let's save our guns. Let's teach people how to use them. Let's get proper background checks, not give guns to crazy people. Yeah. Let's have a mutual respect for each other.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think that's a cool little quick podcast.
For sure.
There it is. Yeah.
Great conversation.
For all I know. Peace.